Okay. And there's Brian.
Good evening. And welcome.
See if your microphone is working. Is it working now?
Good evening.
There's nothing. Mine is on.
Hello.
There.
Okay,
Yes,
is yours
yes.
on now?
Good evening.
Where is that one?
Who said something?
I did. Mine is on.
Okay. Good evening and
There
welcome. We tricked you tonight. It's Monday, November 30th, but we're delighted to have you with us this evening for our monthly Arts and Culture Commission meeting. At this time, we're going to have our roll call.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Dusky,
Here.
Commissioner Gibson,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Dickerson.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask for approval of our agenda for tonight. All those in favor, can I get a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented tonight.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. So approved. Now I need an approval for the minutes for our work-study meeting on June 17th and our regular meeting on June 17th.
Yes, I would like to also make the motion to approve the minutes from the June 17th meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. So moved. Thank you, ladies. At this time, we'll have our announcements and presentations by Brian Whitty.
Thank you, ma'am. First coming up, our season at public ice skating over at the Event Center in Prescott Valley opened up on Thursday, November 26th. We will continue our program of operation there until mid part of January. We encourage everyone to come out and visit with us. For more information on our calendar of dates through the month of November, December, and January, we ask that you visit with us at our town website at pvaz.net for dates, times, programs, admissions, and rental fees. You can get all of your wonderful data there. Very, very active weekend and coming out there, and we had at times more clientele than what we could serve at certain rates. So the skate rentals were definitely active and flying out there. In addition to that, also that has begun has been our Valley of Lights down at Fane Park, hosted by our Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce. And then upcoming this Friday, December 4th, is a wonderful project co-sponsored by the town of Prescott Valley as well as our Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce. And this is the Festival of Lights that takes place. We'll have an opening of activities and ceremonies starting at 4:45 with a choral performance by the Coyote Spring Choir, followed by our Bradshaw Mountain Middle School chorus. The mayor will welcome everyone to the event at 5:30. The chamber director, Ms. Marnie Ewell, will have a children's story time at 5:40. The lighting of the Civic Center grounds as well as then Lakeshore and Lake Valley will happen at 5:55. Our light parade will then soon follow around Civic Center with, of course, Santa in attendance. And then as soon as the parade finishes up, Santa will be here on site with pictures and opportunities. And with also the other unveiling that will happen tonight is a very exciting project that Commissioner Smith will speak to us about a little bit later. I think we're all very excited about what we're going to hear about. Create a Tree display. And that'll be hosted right here in the Prescott Valley Library. Speaking of Create a Tree, if you hadn't heard about it, it is our 13th annual celebration this year. And it will be hosted starting the December 4th, where we're inviting you to come here to the Civic Center campus, and we'll continue through January 3rd. And with saying anything more, I'm going to ruin Commissioner Smith's presentation, so I will hush and move forward. January 2nd, from 10 a.m. until noon at Mountain Valley Park will be our annual Polar Bear Splash. We encourage everyone to put that onto their calendar. As you can see in a variety of different photos, we have a host of different activities, from ice cream eating to rubber duck races to the annual Polar Bear Plunge that takes place. We have all kinds of wonderful prizes out there, and you must be 18 or older to participate in the plunge itself, but all ages are welcome to participate in the numerous activities that will be made available to you. Again, January 2nd from 10 a.m. until noon. Our winter volleyball leagues are taking registration. That will close Monday, December 7th. Teams are a $150 registration fee. It will take place on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights with co-ed and women's leagues. The games will start the week of January 5th, and any questions can be directed to Miss Jessica Compton at 759-3093. And my apologies, there is our Valley of Lights slide. Again, the Valley of Lights is hosted at Fain Park. It will continue November 26th through December 30th. It is a fantastic mile-plus long route throughout Fain Park with a variety of different sponsored displays. Again, hosted by the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce with the support of the town of Prescott Valley. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on announcements that are coming up.
Brian, what are the hours on the Valley of Lights?
Valley of Lights literally begins at dusk and concludes with the park closing at 10 p.m.
Okay. Is that every night? At
Yes,
10?
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Brian, while you're on a roll, do you want to continue with your director's report?
I would be happy to. As you know, in your packets, there were a number of months to address, but I'll literally narrow things down just to the month of October for you, but we'd be happy to respond back with any questions you might have about the preceding months in which we were unable to meet. A lot of the big things that were going on there were the art studio tour was taking place, and the setup, the operations, as well as then also the follow-up. Great success. The Prescott Valley Mountain Arts Guild was very happy in regards to the turnout and the support that they found here with the studio tour. They wanted me to express their thanks of your support and hopefully continued future support, and the possibility of expansion, as there have been a number of artists that then followed up through that and said, boy, I would really like to get on board. So they're very much looking forward to it, and hopefully you all felt there was great value and participation behind that, and we'll be building that future together with the Mountain Artists Guild in doing that. Looking forward to those opportunities there. Again, we're continuing to move forward in regards to the advancement of movies, projectors, and screens, and sound systems related to Theater on the Green and its movie nights that you all sponsor. So that will be coming forward perhaps in your January meeting in regards to the procurement of those, so that we can also look at an expansion of dates and services available. Let's see here. In addition to that, as we discussed in our work study, our dates for Theater on the Green performances have been scheduled with our sound company. Those things are in place. A number of different items were finalized in regards to plan development and promotions as it relates to the Lake Civic and Lakeshore Plaza sculpture project, which we'll discuss a little bit later this evening. And then in addition to that, the Creative Tree materials being broadcast out there, and Commissioner Smith will allude to the benefits there. We also received, the Commission did receive the annual Arts and Humanities Proclamation from the Mayor. So thank you, Commissioners, for being able to host and receive that on behalf of the town. And then a number of different elements as it relates to the Art at the Center and the call to artists for that program were developed and are in the process right now of being marketed out to the different art institutions, artists throughout the surrounding Four Corner states. So we've been quite active with a number of different activities. That just relates and focuses on the month of October. But I'm happy to review any of the preceding months as well. So if you do have questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
I'm good.
Okay.
Our chairperson is not with us tonight, but I will, as always, remind you that we're always looking for good commissioners to join our Arts and Culture Commission. You don't have to be an artist if you're interested in the arts or just promoting the arts in our wonderful town. Please, 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 please. That's an old song by James Brown. But anyway, please give us a call at 928-759-3090. We'd love to have you join our commission and help us to increase the participation in the arts in our wonderful town of Prescott Valley. With that, we'll move into our old business. Commissioner Smith?
Yes, let's talk about Create a Tree just a little more. On December 4th, when you're here for the Festival of Lights Parade, once it's over, we invite you to come into the library and view the 40-plus trees that will be set up there, or tree-like displays from various organizations around the town. And then we want you to vote, because we always have a favorite tree that is the favorite of the public here. So come and visit on the 4th, following the parade.
I think it's pretty exciting in regards to the development of the years that have gone by. You guys, as a commission, you are seeing now the fruits of your labor with the volume of trees that are coming in this year. I think that's also representative of the diversity of the exhibits that have happened in years past, especially last year being a very, very unique year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, the People's Choice Award was very exciting. A lot of new entries that came in. A service business was in, Robux. They had a very unique tree in regards to using their red and green cups as part of their display and creating their artistic interpretation of a tree. I think two that really reached out and kind of captured me with their creativity. One was the auto repair business that welded together a number of different automotive parts to create their interpretation of their tree. And then also another organization, musical organization, that created their tree out of their fiddle and a guitar or a banjo and different elements like that, which is exactly the premise under which the Commission created this program X number of years ago, because in years past we've had art organizations create their tree out of picture frames. We've had Ace Hardware is a great example. They use their products to create their tree, and the framework of their tree has been ladders in years past in doing that kind of stuff. So I think that's the fun and the reflection of the program, of how do we demonstrate who we are and convey who we are to the public, but in a very fun and artistic way in regards to seasons. And so
I also recall one group that they were a hair salon, and they used rollers and clips and all their supplies as ornaments on the tree. It was very, very clever.
Right. And that brings up another good point. I think there was one group and has done this for a number, well, actually a couple of different groups that have done this. Their tree is actually a living giving tree. And their tree, they collect mittens or socks or scarves. And another group has collected food donations and products. Now, that requires quite a bit of organization on that group's behalf, because they come in on a daily basis and pick up and collect those things. But pretty awesome in regards to how they can make things happen, and the number of school organizations that we have and the expressions that the young people develop and share and create. It's a lot of fun in regards to seeing that. So it's, I think, a very good representation, or a cross-section, if you will, of our community. And so thank you for that opportunity to be able to have the community share in an artistic and fun way, and decorating and lighting things up. So by golly, be here December 4th, and then enjoy all the way through the month of December and vote, vote, vote. So it's a lot of fun that way in doing that. So thank you.
Exciting stuff. Now we'll have information on Art at the Center and Youth Arts Month by Brian.
Yes, our Art at the Center program is coming up. For those that may not be familiar with it, These are all of the different sculptures that grace the grounds here at the Civic Center complex and actually in our park location as well too. Some folks might be familiar with the Centennial Lady. They might be familiar with the police sculpture. They might be familiar with Limitless. That's the red, the orange, the yellow, and the green and the blue that's out front of Civic Center, and a number of other pieces that surround or are inside the Civic Center or the library grounds. That is our Art at the Center program. It is compiled by a number of pieces that are part of a permanent collection, but also a part of an annual display. The artists have the opportunity to have their work submitted. It's juried through the process by the commission and folks that are invited to be part of that jurying committee. And then those pieces then are placed upon display for a year. We do our job the best that we possibly can in regards to promoting these pieces, not only locally, but throughout the state, throughout the Four Corner states as well. We've had great fortune in having pieces procured that have been shipped to Florida, been shipped to China. We have internationally acclaimed artists that are part of the exhibiting process, and artists that have come from all over the country to participate. And so this is our annual call to the artists, as we'll go through a restructuring or a reincarnation, or to steal the Phoenix theme, be reborn again in a whole new display and exhibit for new artists, and again to go through that process of letting the art speak to you through a variety of different displays that grace the grounds. So we're encouraging applications. This can be done via our town website at PVAZ and visit the Art and Culture page. Our applications will be due March 30th. The review period by the jurying committee will be then done on April 1st. And then the install period for artists will be able to visit with us April 11th through the 29th. Then from there, we will then have our reception on Saturday, June 18th. We'll invite all of those new artists to come and celebrate with them, recognizing them for their acceptance into the art program. Have them meet with us in regards to, when I say us, the public, and learning more about their artwork and its representation. And then if for some folks it speaks volumes to them, they like to procure that artwork, whether it be for their private collection or for a corporation or business, what have you, in doing that. So pretty exciting times, lots of fun, and we get to reinvent ourselves through an artistic interpretation by those folks participating in the event. So pretty exciting opportunities, but tonight is really that announcement about applications. We encourage all outdoor artists, sculpture artists. It can be in a variety of different works, but it needs to be durable. It needs to be with the understanding that it is located outdoors, that it does need to be extremely sturdy to hold up to all of that, as well as interaction with the art. And then it also needs to meet the criteria of being safe and interactive. So no pokey, sharp, any of those kinds of things. Participation. We have a great amount of detail with that as far as the application process goes. It gives you a lot of that feedback and information. So once you're ready to submit, you understand that criteria for the exhibit. But please do so before March 30th so that we can get our responses back to you. But highly look forward to your application to the program and advancing the arts here in Prescott Valley. Any questions? Upcoming for Youth Arts Month, this is an annual celebration in which there is a great deal of participation by our young people throughout all levels of our primary and primary education through K through 12. This is open to charter schools, public schools, having all of them participate. We do break down into regards to different categories that are appropriate for each age group and recognizing them with awards. Those teachers that are promoting the art, teaching, also have a built-in reward as well, and that is that they're recipients of classroom art materials to help advance their teachings and the opportunities for our youngsters. So if you are a youngster and your school is not participating, please go speak to your teacher, talk to the principal. We'd love to have you sign up and participate, whether it be your class or the entire school, and more preferably the entire school in doing that. We'll have a month-long display of your artwork. It'll be judged, and awards will be presented. We have a fabulous reception throughout that we've had 200 or 300 people in attendance through, and it is fabulous to see the skill sets that these youngsters are developing, starting all the way down in kindergarten and working their way all the way up through high school, and especially those young people that are moving forward for secondary education. They want to become teachers or professional artists in doing those, developing those life skills. And so we're very excited to be able to play host to that for a month, and look forward to having everyone on board for that. In addition to that, I would like to request if we can schedule some time with the committee to go ahead and get some of the other needed essentials and planning to be done. And I think Commissioner Dickerson and Dusky are part of that committee. So maybe we can get together and establish a time for committee discussions and development if that would work for you all.
Good.
Preferably if we can do it after the holidays, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. All righty.
Except for the timeline, it's coming earlier.
Yes, and so what I'll do is I'll sit down with staff. We'll kind of work together a proposal for your review and then direction, and then from that we'll go ahead and start that communication process and getting those things done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Before we close for this evening, we have one piece of new business, exciting new business that we'd like to share with you. Brian?
Yes, ma'am. During our 2.5-hour deliberation during tonight's work study, very happy to report, and I guess I'll begin with the process under which we've gone through in this development. Compliments to the town and their forethought in regards to public art and permanent installations as it relates to town capital projects. As we all know, this has been a process that's probably about a year and a half in the making of going through this. And if you recall, there was some discussion at the corner of Civic Circle and Lakeshore, development of a roundabout. And of course, through those processes, that has changed, but the concept of having public art has not. And so even though that plan has changed and now it's going to be a multi-lane intersection, the artwork will continue. And part of the charge of the Arts and Culture Commission was procuring that input in regards to artwork. So for several months, the commission and staff went through a process of developing a statement of qualifications process, what we're looking for in regards to artwork that would be considered, and an application process, a jurying process, all of those kinds of things. So that has all come to fruition. On November 22nd, applications closed for that. It was a nationwide search going through that. There was about a 30-day window response time to that call. And we received a total of 27 applications for consideration and jury. The commission had its members as well as then a number of different members from the public, ranging from the Art Guild to college educators to professional artists, you name it, and with a review committee that had a great deal of background and knowledge as it relates to the art. In doing that process, we had two separate rounds of paring down through that jurying process. We had a preliminary round, a first round, and then a secondary round. And I'm happy to report that coming out of that and recommended by the Public Sculpture Committee, we had 3 artists that are being recommended, if there is a motion in support of this evening, for the following. With a score, average score out of a 1 to 7 rating, a 5.7 for the application made by Mr. Stephen Kishel. Coming in next is a rating of 5.5 with a submission by Mr. Ken Caston. And then third is a rating of 5.4 by a Mr. Brad Howe. Okay? And so those were the committee's recommendation for the commission for their consideration. And then if that the commission views that those 3 recommendations should be forwarded to council, staff is asking for a motion in that fact. And then on Thursday, January 7th, that recommendation will be presented to council for their consideration, and that will come after also then a public opinion poll in which we'll present via the town website. You'll see a number of different announcements for that opportunity to be able to vote on that opinion poll via the town website. And then that information will also be presented to the council as well. So if there's acceptance of the committee's report and recommendation for those 3 proposals.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation as read by Brian.
I'd like to move that we accept the 3 artists, Mr. Kishel, the second one,
Caston and Howe.
Caston and Mr. Howe, as our preferred choices for the Lakeshore Civic Art Project.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, so moved.
Thank you very much. And as indicated, we'll move this forward to the public opinion poll and then recommendation at work study with town council on Thursday, January 7th. And that will be your proposal evening.
Thank you. If there are no other comments or questions or concerns, our next meeting will be our work study held on Wednesday, January 20th, 2016 at 3:45 p.m. here in the auditorium, followed by a regular meeting at 6:30 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us. And since we won't see you until after the new year, have a wonderful, safe, blessed new year. Good night.